Hi, doing everybody. Hello. Apologies for being a little late. I was having some technical difficulties on my side. But I mean, honestly, really, what is there to talk about? Well, there are a few things to talk about, of course, but just another bad game here. It's kind of one of those things where you just got to figure something out here. You're going through one of these slumps. Every team is going to go through a slump like this over the course of a season. But this one, it's getting a little annoying because you're still running into the same problems over and over and over and over again. It's this approach that is really driving me nuts, to be completely honest. We talked about it last night. The strikeouts keep piling up, 10 more on the day. You're still chasing outside of the zone. You have the fourth highest outside swing percentage in Major League Baseball this year. Cora was saying after the game that he saw, there was a bit of an improvement there. Sure, but, it's just it's not enough, right? I don't know, man. When you're going up against, some of these guys on the White Sox, Martin Perez, this is a guy who's been so up and down in his career. Sure, they worked accounts and whatnot. They were making him throw some pitches, but you got to do more damage. It's Martin Perez here. It is what it is. You still have the fourth highest swinging strike percentage. Again, still a lot of swing and miss on the day. You have the ninth lowest contact percentage on the year. I felt like there was a bit more contact today, but just not enough quality contact. Again, I've been saying this for a little bit now. I just feel like I want this team to, you saw it a little better, a bit of an improvement today, but just working the counts a little bit more. I felt like later on, they just weren't really giving you a good quality at bat, or not a good enough quality of an at bat late in the game. I don't know, man. They got to find a way to make some adjustments here. Hopefully, again, you did see some improvements a little bit today, but it's not enough. It's against the Chicago White Sox, for crying out loud. What can you say? But a lot of wasted chances today. It's not even an adjustment thing. You still have these opportunities that keep coming up for you. It's not like the Red Sox aren't putting themselves in these spots. It's still just over and over again where a guy gets on, the inning starts well, they steal second base, and you're just not able to capitalize on it. Opportunity in the fourth inning wasted today. Trevor Story had the walk, had a stolen base, 2 outs. Trevor Story, this is, again, I see a lot of people saying, okay, Marcelo Meyer, let's go. Let's get him called up. But Trevor Story, this is a guy where he's still doing a lot of pretty good things, holding it down with the defense. You're always going to get some good defense with Trevor Story. He's stealing bases. He's getting on, but then you have Wilyer Braze striking out right after him. Did have the big fifth inning today. Narvaez got the base hit. Thank the Lord Blake Sable was not in this game today, for crying out loud. That just drove me nuts last night. So that was already an improvement today. My goodness. Seti, pretty good day for Seti today. Had the triple there in the fifth inning. That made it 1-0. Romy getting the start today over Tristan Casas, but it was against the lefty. Still seeing some people, on Twitter today saying, Casas, he needs the at-bats even against the lefties. I felt like today, Casas, it was a good day off. I'll talk a little bit more about Casas in just a second, but you had Romy get the start today. He had the base hit. That made it 2-0. Romy has been a productive player for the Red Sox this year. So I was not against him getting the start today. I felt like Cora, he really wanted to take advantage against the lefty, really putting the righties at the top of the order there. Jaron Duran getting the day off today as well. So I was okay with getting Romy, getting Ref Snyder in there today. I was fine with that. But you had a 2-0 lead. Raffy gets the double play. Ref Snyder with the K. So, sure, you had a couple of runs there in the fifth, but you gotta lay it on. I felt like the Red Sox, you go to the Orioles series, you go to the Cardinals series. What they were doing so well was that you get a couple of runs, but they didn't stop. They kept it going. And I don't know if there's something where they had whatever approach they were taking against the Orioles and the Cardinals, they're not doing it here. So again, I feel like the teams, in the end, I feel like the teams that have the best shot at winning a World Series, they're not just the teams that are the most talented, but they're the teams that make the adjustments along the way. I feel like it's almost like they're still doing what they were doing against Baltimore and St. Louis. They're taking that same approach, and it's not working here. Again, you have to make those adjustments. Sixth inning, Willier, 2-out walk, steals second. Put yourself in another position. Narvaez with a strikeout. Seventh inning, absolutely wrecked me here tonight. Huge opportunity wasted. Rafaela with a base hit. What do you know? Steals second again. Romy ground out to third. This was I feel like a pretty key play. Everyone loves to, when you lose a game, Blue Jays fans were going absolutely nuts after the Red Sox lost the fourth game of that series, saying, the umpire was terrible. This is what I mean. It always goes both ways. Always. Not just in a series, not just in one game, but throughout the course of a season. This is one of those moments where I feel like it kind of went against the Red Sox here, where you had the ground out there. It looked like Andrew Vaughn's foot came off the bag. And when you go to the replay, they challenged the play. And it came back really quick, and I just felt like, did they have enough footage there? Did they have enough angles to really make a conclusive call? I don't know. It looked a little like he was off the bag, to be honest. It is what it is, but felt like that was a pretty key moment. What can you do? But then Bregman with the flyout, Ref Snyder with another K. But let's get to Casas here. Where was Tristan Casas in the seventh inning? Again, I'm okay with, getting Romy and Ref Snyder the starts today against the lefty. I'm okay with that, but I feel like this would have been a moment for Casas to get a pinch hit. Had the double last night. Yes, he has not looked great overall at the plate this year. I feel like that could have been a moment for Casas to come into the game. That's just me. I don't know. I mean, maybe they just wanted to keep Romy. They just wanted to keep him in for the full game. But I feel like, to me, with Ref Snyder, not having an amazing day today, I felt like that was a good spot to get a left-handed bat to come in there. In Casas, like I said, getting that double yesterday, it looked like he maybe made an adjustment mechanically, and maybe, he could be on the right path to getting a bit more consistent. So, I don't know. I'm a little, I don't know why Casas wasn't in there. But then Bregman, like I said, Bregman flying out, Ref Snyder with the K. It's just, again, there's so many opportunities wasted today. The offense was once again not fun to watch. Yeah, more genetic. I see you in the chat. There's 145 more games left. I completely agree with you. It was a long season. However, I think it's okay to be frustrated because you're still seeing the same thing. You're not seeing enough of the adjustments, and you're not seeing it against the freaking Chicago White Sox that lost a record amount of games last year and arguably got worse. So there's a lot of season left. I understand that, but this is a team where there's a lot of expectations, a lot of talent, and they're not making the adjustments. And you want to start seeing them kind of, getting it together here a little bit. So, but we do have to talk about Richard Fitts. Not great news for him today. Before I do get to that, though, I do want to go over today's sponsor, and that is Arena Club. I'll let the guys over at Foul Territory take over.
FT fam, if you love ripping packs of cards, there is a modern way to do that now on Arena Club with their slab packs and crats. I know you love ripping slab packs and getting that sweet card that you've always been looking for.
Yeah, and you don't have to go through all the other ones, all the crats cards that are in there. Bang, you just get the big one, the one that you're just peeking right around the corner when you open that pack, the one you expect to get.
Also, Arena Club will make you an instant offer for your card based on its market value. You'll get an instant offer of 90% of the estimated value, so you can accept it on the spot, simple, fast, and risk-free. Use that cash to buy more slab packs, and you can get your cards officially graded by Arena Club. So go check it out right now, FT fam. You can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/foul and then use the code FOUL. That's arenaclub.com/FOUL. Code FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. Get after it, FT fam.
All right, go check out Arena Club. They got a great deal going right now. If you are into the card collecting, I highly recommend Arena Club. But let's get to Richard Fitts here today. It's been a tough couple of games here, a tough few games for the Red Sox, but Richard Fitts over the first few starts, he has been rather pleasant to watch. This is a guy that's been really holding it down. Went into spring training, much better velo, stuff looking good. You're feeling good about Richard Fitz, and he's had a couple of quality starts here, and he was looking great here today. Let's go to the breakdown over on StatCast. Is once again, okay, good. My button is working today, everybody. But Fitz, hey, a guy that was just really holding it down, leading with the fastball 41% of the time, sinker at 21%, sweeper at 14%. Overall, 5 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned, 5 Ks. He was that close to getting another quality start under his belt. He was getting a decent amount of whiffs on the 4-seamer today. He got 4 whiffs overall. Overall, he just looked great. He was just working the zone. He was just getting ahead of the hitters. Just looked like he was in complete control. The second inning, he ran into a little trouble. Had the walk there. Mydroth, this guy, I'm telling you, Chase Mydroth, he's going to be so good. The White Sox, they got a great player in Chase Mydroth, man. Just going to be a guy that I think is going to have a long career, solid career. I still wish we had Chase Mydroth. I don't know where he would fit in, but you would love to have that kind of guy on this team, man. Especially now, a guy that really he's getting on base. He makes a good amount of contact. Just a gritty kind of a player. Reminds me of Pedroia a little bit. It is what it is. The White Sox got a good one. But he had the base hit. He got the big strikeout to Sosa there. And then Omar Narvaez had the strikeout as well. So, again, he ran into a little trouble, but able to get out of it. But the big problem for Richard Fitz right now, it's the shoulder. 1 second. Why is my buttons just don't want to work, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what is going on with the buttons here. There we go. We're good to go. No, that's not the right one. There we go. Here we go. So Richard Fitz, they're saying it's a shoulder. He's getting the MRI. When I saw the injury at first, it looked like it was a pec. It looked like he kind of grabbed like right here. I wasn't sure if maybe it was like he was seeing some pain here or in the pec. I'm not sure. Either way, they're saying it's the shoulder. I do wonder if it ends up being a pec thing. We'll see what ends up happening. I feel like it's going to be okay. It didn't seem anything too drastic. It just looked like something grabbed on him a little bit. Chorus said, the pitch prior, he felt a little something, and then he made another pitch, and he just, it was still hanging around, or the pain was still hanging around. But yeah, hopefully this is nothing. Hopefully it's just a tweak. Miss a start or two. I'm guessing that. Who knows? I could be wrong, but kind of. I feel like just the reaction. It was more of a minor thing. You want to do the MRI. You don't want to take any chances. But I'm wondering if it's going to be just a pec strain or maybe just a slight, maybe a front delt strain, whatever it may be. I'm not too worried about it. I'm definitely curious about it. That's just me. Now, the real question, obviously the real question is he going to be okay? But the next real question, Brian Bayo, are they going to bring him back? Or are they going to have him do another rehab start? Giolito's probably got a couple more starts. But Bayo, I do wonder if they just bring him back at this point, if Fitz does make a trip to the IL. Or I wonder if they go with a bullpen game. I could see either or happening. I wonder if they go with a bullpen game the next time and they want to give Bayo another start down in Worcester. I think one of those is probably going to happen. We'll see. I'm going to lean more towards a bullpen game the next time out. I don't think they want to rush Bayo. I feel like they want to just get him into a good spot when he makes his return. But it won't be Giolito. I know that he's going to be making a couple more starts. So I'm going to guess bullpen game the next time through the rotation. But hopefully it's nothing bad with Richard Fitz. Again, it looked like a bit of a pec thing to me, at least from the initial reaction. We'll just have to wait and see. But let's get to the game 3 pitching matchup here. Garrett Crochet. Listen, this is why you have an ace, right? This is why you bring in a guy like this. I know it's against the White Sox, but whatever. Who cares? The White Sox have now won the series. They've taken 2 out of 3. So you need your stopper on the mound. I can't believe I'm even saying that against the White Sox. It's like crying out loud. But hey, this is why you bring your guy in. I think Crochet is going to be fired up tomorrow. I think he's going to be backing Chicago. He's going to try and put a halt to this losing here. I'm feeling good about Crochet against the White Sox tomorrow. But hey, the White Sox, they got a pretty good guy on their own. This guy's off to a pretty good start. Shane Smith, a couple of starts here. ERA at 1.54 so far, 11 and 2/3 innings pitched. This is a guy to, keep a lookout for. He's 25 years old. He's shown some pretty good things so far. It's not going to be an easy matchup. The Red Sox, they got to do something with the bats. I mean, there's not really much else to say when it comes to that. You just got to find a way to really just try to make some adjustments tomorrow. But it's not going to be easy, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to be easy. But I'm going to count on Crochet stepping up in a big way. I'm just feeling good about that one. I think he's going to be fired up tomorrow. But there's no experience against Shane Smith. He is in his rookie season. There's a little bit of experience against Crochet with Michael Taylor, Vargas. They got a couple of ABs, but nothing really, anything of note. But that is the matchup for tomorrow. I do wonder what the lineup is going to look like here. I would imagine Casas is going to be back in the lineup tomorrow. I would imagine Duran is going to be back in the lineup tomorrow. We'll see. Again, we talked about some possible lineups yesterday. I don't think they're going to make any drastic changes, but I do wonder, could you maybe see Willie Abreu in the cleanup spot, giving Casas the day off here? Maybe they put him back into the lineup a little bit lower. I feel like they're probably going to keep him in the cleanup spot. That's kind of the way I'm thinking. That's the way I'm leaning. So I don't think we're going to see any drastic changes, at least as of right now. I mean, who knows? Maybe Cora wants to mix things up. So keep an eye out for the lineup tomorrow. But everybody, that's all we got here for this one. Didn't really want to talk about this one too much, to be completely honest. I just wanted to kind of run through it really quick. It's another frustrating day. I'm getting a little tired of doing these post games in a negative fashion. I want to start talking about some wins, for crying out loud, and not even just wins where you had a walk-off little squibbler against the Blue Jays. I want to start, talking about some good wins. So hopefully we get that tomorrow. I have a good feeling about it. I think the Red Sox, let's see if they come together as a team here and they put something together before they head to Tampa. So everybody, I'm out of here. Danny, I see you in the chat. Keep doing the post games. Oh, we're still doing the post games. I'm just saying, I'd like to do them in a more positive fashion for once. My goodness, can we please start talking about some good wins? Yeah, the post games aren't going anywhere. But everybody, I see a lot of you in the chat, a lot of familiar faces here. Danny, Pups and Parks, how you doing? Alex Rodriguez is here, ladies and gentlemen. Red Sox diehard, how you doing? I saw Red Seat Radio was here. Red Seat Radio. Yes, also Red Seat. Very good point there. Also, no home runs. Where's the long ball here? Again, I think they still need to focus on the quality of contact. First off, making more contact, kind of getting the swing and miss down, the chase down a little bit. But yeah, you would like a kind of a big fly at some point. One big swing could really change the outcome of a game. But it almost feels like, I feel like at times when I'm watching these guys hit, it feels like they're almost just swinging out of their shoes a little bit. It's like they're all trying to hit a home run. It's like, let's just kind of ease it down a little bit, focus on making some good swings and just let the home runs come. I don't know. I sense a bit of over-aggressiveness from this lineup. So we'll see what they do tomorrow. But everybody, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me. Go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. It is an early game tomorrow, 2 o'clock. We are going to be watching the game over on Playback. Go join my Playback room. I'm going to be putting the link here in the chat. Here we go. It's Playback TV/Robbie Hyde. Go to my Playback room. I just put the link in the chat. Hold on. I'll put the actual hyperlink here. Hold on. There we go. Playback TV/Robbie Hyde. All right. Go to that link. Go join my Playback room and come watch the game with me tomorrow with Garrett Crochet on the mound. But everybody, I'm out of here. Go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Go get yourself a good night of sleep. Try not to cry yourself to sleep like I will tonight over the Red Sox losing another game. Everybody, I'll see you tomorrow.